Well, tonight we're talking about a Furuno RV-128G shortwave receiver. As a maker in Japan, of course. Mainly, this was almost exclusively used by maritime industry, ships and that thing. This was produced between 1991 and 2010. I believe they discontinued it. This particular one was made in September of 2008, so it's a relatively new, old radio. Anyway, it's a beautiful radio, plays really well. It does have some characteristics that are a little bit different than you would say with a JRC or something like that, where it's just kind of like this click and tune to it. The AGC is a little bit more fussy. The attack time's a little slower. I think that's probably my biggest complaint about it. But it does allow you to get in and modify a lot of things. Just to kind of go through the front panel, you have, obviously the big thing is the tuning screen. You have the S meter. That's supposed to have a backlight to it, and I have not yet taken off the front panel on this. You have to disassemble the machine to replace the bulb in there, so I haven't done that yet. You also have the frequency indicator, and in this case we're on 740 kilohertz. That's Toronto AM station, which I normally listen to. If you've seen these before, you've seen me tune to it. The interesting thing about the tuning is it is variable by mode. It depends on the mode it's in as to how many digits it displays. I'll show you that in a second. Starting in this, we have the AGC controls. You can do it off, fast, or slow. And like I said, the attack on this, if you change that or go from off to on, it takes about 3 seconds to kind of lock in. So it's a little slow for comfortable listening if you're just kind of running through things. There's a 20 dB attenuator. This is basically a line. It affects this as the first is the RF versus the AF. And if you see this needle will change. See, it drops down to, that's the actual line voltage coming in through the antenna into the radio. This reflects the sounds you hear out of the radio, pretty much, which is the AF. So you can see, anyway. And there's an AF filter, which is a very nice little feature. You can eliminate a lot of interference. You can open, widen. That's an adjustable filter. It has like 11 different settings, as you will see when I do this in a second. Each one of these has a little different frequency indicator. Let me be like on frequency there. So if we do this, well, I'll go back through. Here you have your tuning controls. You have fine and coarse, and that basically will determine, depends on the mode, but it'll actually change what shows up in the screen up here. Also, how fast you can tune through the dial. There are the two frequencies in red. They're 2182 and 500, or 2182 kilohertz and 500 kilohertz. Those are international distress frequencies. They're not really used or monitored like they were when this was first built. Does have certification for the Global Marine Distress Safety and Safety System with GDM-SS, which replaced those. Those are just legacies from like when, you know, if you're out in the ocean and you need to have a quiet time. The old clocks have those times mapped on them at certain specific times. So you can actually just shut off any other radio and just listen for distress calls on those. They don't necessarily use that anymore. A lot of that's computerized now, so it's kind of an obsolete system, but that's what those are for. Main tuning dial that I still need to clean up a little bit because it has some tape residue and somebody penciled something on there. You have channel selector frequency, so this has a 400 channel scanner. You can scan up to 400 channels inside the radio. No external array or anything needed. And that can be a sweep scan or seek scan. You can do that by frequency or by channel. Frequency is when you have to hit that if you're going to do a direct entry on the keypad over there. There are dual VFOs in this. In other words, you can switch between two different frequencies. And I'll show you real quick. There's the other one, and it changed mode and everything else. And I'll go back to it. It's back to what I was before. So this is a multifunction knob here. It basically, depending on what you select here, there's a number of different features here. Modes, that kind of things are direct, but these right here are the ones you're talking about. there's a passband, which is in like an AM mode or an SSB, and then you have BFO, which is a similar fine-tuning kind of knob in a CW mode or Morse code. The fill is associated with the AF filter that has to be engaged too for you to widen or narrow that. There's a dimmer function, and you do that. You can use this to dim it down or brighten it up, however you wanted to do it. Okay, get out of that. There's a noise blanker and a noise filter. Modes, USB, LSB, those are single sideband, CW Morse code, frequency shift keying for digital modes, and fax for obviously like weather facsimile and things like that. And then DSB, which is dual sideband, which is what they term AM, which you'd consider like for AM radio when you're listening to both a wide signal like an AM radio. Anyway, and then you have 4 bandwidths. Those are mode independent. In other words, you can use any one in any one of the modes. 6 kilohertz, 3 kilohertz, 1 kilohertz, and 200 hertz, which are, obviously it's a pretty good selection, and you can listen to most, especially with the audio filter, you can actually tune that down a little bit, and so you can actually kind of narrow the amount of filter getting into there and signal getting in. So anyway, let's go and do a little tuning around here. We have, okay, we'll turn the volume up just a little bit. Yes, we've got a little fade right now. So you have an RF gate here. That's the power button, obviously. Speakers and headphones. There's an RF gain, which gives you more audio or radio signal into the box. The volume is, of course, the AF or the audio frequency. Let's see. Let's do a filter here so you can see what that's like. We'll hit here, filter. You see the little light comes on here. And see, I've got it on the narrowest right now, which is 0. But as we do this, you're going to hear it open up, a little more signal coming through. So you can understand if there's a signal right next to this, you might want to lower that down so it doesn't sound as great, but you can eliminate the other sound. But that's what that filter is, the AM filter, which is really pretty cool. That's a feature you don't have on a lot of radios. The passband tuning is another feature. Press that, light comes on, and sometimes, turn it down. Don't blow your ears out. See, once again, the tuning. See, it's like a fine tune. As I get further away from the middle of the frequency, you hear that whine or whistle. So that's how that works. Noise blanker works the same way. You can tune it that way, and it'll just kind of eliminate a particular type of signal if you want to. And that one I'm not knowing about. Anyway, so you can change the different frequencies. There's a dual, like we said earlier. If it sends you over here, I'll do that so I can go back to the other one. If you noticed, an extra digit comes on here. It goes down to the 10 hertz filter, and you can tune that, and or you can go here and it drops it, and you can go faster. So you can go faster between different things. So anyway, those are some tuning controls on it. Performance on this is actually pretty good. I made an earlier video on the RV-128G, which I got out of salvage out of it. That one was made in, I think, 1986, I believe. And it basically had a Kenwood 2000 guts inside it. This one is a unique, basically this is a proper Furuno radio. It's not made by anybody else except Furuno. There were 2 models that came out at the same time with this, the 118 and then 128. They both kind of are intended for the same market, except the 118 had a few fewer features, like the passband shift we just saw we used. That's not on there. Manual notch, remote control, that's an option for that, whereas it is included here. The card's installed in the back of this, so you can actually get you know, you can actually remotely control this radio as well. And, you know, there are a number of other things, but those are the big ones. As for the types of connections and stuff this thing uses on the back, it's interesting. They use a different size power plug than the 206 does. It's smaller. It's the same size as some of the Anritsu radios, the RG 52A, 56, or 53A. I know those because I'm using one of the cables from one of those radios on this one right now. So, but anyway, so that is kind of like a first, go back. There we go. That's kind of a first glance at what the Furuno 128G kind of looks like and what it does, the controls. And I hope you've enjoyed this. Hopefully I'll be doing another one soon on the 108, which is the model before this. So we'll see. Anyway, let me know what you think, and if there's anything you'd like to know about this specific model, put them in the comments and I'll try to answer the questions. And I appreciate your time and your viewing. Have a good one.